Good evening, campers. I hope you're going well and have had yourself an amazing Saturday. If you are in Australia, if you're anywhere across the world, welcome to the weekend. I hope you have yourselves a wonderful day. My friends, how are you going? How's your day been? Out of 10, put your scores in the comment section. As always, let me know how you are in flow today. Gang, it's been a really cool day for me today. And look, I am going to be very, very boyish and sporty, but it is the opening round of the Premier League over in the UK. So very excited to see how my team fares this season. I reckon we'll do a little bit better. So apologies if you're not a soccer fan, but it is a big, big day, opening day of the season for us. So excited to see what cracks on tonight. Actually, I'll probably stay up for a little bit, watch a bit of the games. Yeah, really pumped, as always. And every single season I'll get let down. My team hasn't won anything since 1954, but each season I will start with a degree of optimism. So foolish optimism, I know. Anyway, gang, how you getting on out of 10? Joe Mooney, definitely a 10. I tell you what, big shout out to Joe. She did a couple of virtual inspections today, and I was privy to them both. She did a cracking job. Yeah, you know, they were her first goes at it. She did a brilliant job, and I believe off the second one, they have got a result, I believe, which is amazing. So, great job, Joe. Brilliant effort, my friend. So, well done to you for sticking your neck out, because Joe's not naturally. She doesn't like the camera. Like I tried when I was working with her. I tried to get her in front of the camera for about 4 years and struggled. So for her to, really immerse herself in everything that is so important right now is just a testament to the person that she is. She's an absolute superstar, both on and off the field, shall we say. We have bidding, even better. Well, we'll get them onto Market Buy or something then, surely. Or we could do a live. We could do an online auction, and I'll call it. I'm gagging for some auction action. Just humor me, please. Maxine is up to a 10 from a 2. That is so good to hear, Maxine. Thank you. That is amazing. Thank you so much for giving us an update there, Steve. Yep, absolutely. How are the lads? Really excited to see if we hopefully have a proper number 9 in the side with Callum Wilson. Fingers crossed, man, that we've got someone that can fill that number 9 shirt properly. All right, gang. Let's quickly do a bit of around the grounds, as we normally do on a Saturday night. It is our Saturday success summary. So across the bottom of the screen there, you can see the auction results and also the volume of private sales for the week for all of the states around our fair country that it is in Australia, that are in Australia. A couple of notables there. Victoria still, I mean, obviously we've got no auctions to really report, but 753 private sales. Good for you. Regional Victoria, you are holding your end up of the deal in a big way. New South Wales, another week over 1,500 sales, which is tremendous. 72% clearance rate. Queensland, another week of over 1,000 sales. Lots and lots of activity in New South Wales and Queensland on the private sale front, which is tremendous to see. ACT, though, right? I know their numbers are a lot smaller, right? But when you look at the comparative volumes, they are smashing Auctionland, absolutely killing it in Auctionland. They've got, I mean, I know that they have got some of the finest auctioneers in the entire country. You know, Alec Brown, Jenna Donnelly, Sandra Masters, just to name 3 that are rocking and rolling around ACT. And there's some absolute guns there and some of the absolute established order of the auction space. So their second week over 90%, which is amazing, irrespective of volume. Like, I think they had 30 something, 31. To have 90% of them sell under the hammer is a wonderful testament to their professionalism. So well done to the ACT. Big up to the capital. What else have we got to report here? Tassie. Another 100% weekend. You go get it, my friends, over the Tasman. Yes, it might have only been one auction, but yeah, did it well. So good for you guys. Good for you. Western Australia didn't have any, but they managed to creep over 504 private sales. So again, well done to Western Australia. There's some good activity, gang. So well done to those that are giving it the beans with regards to making sure they get as much action as possible and not getting too distracted with everything else that's been going on. Gang, so that is your Saturday success summary, provisional clearance rates and all that sort of stuff. I'll leave them ticking along the bottom of the screen there. So, Joe, good. We're in market buy. Excellent. Put the link in, please, so we can have a watch. Now, this one I'm bringing to everybody's attention because for mine, honestly, it's sometimes we are our own worst enemy. And I say sometimes, a lot of the time, we are our own worst enemy when it comes to the real estate profession. The amount of people that get down and out and end up just leaving the industry because of this issue is so significant that I want to start making it a little bit of a common topic that we talk about, because I would really like to stamp it out as best as we possibly can. And it's around keyboard warriors within our profession. Now, I used to be in hospitality before I was in real estate. And when in my last gig, when I was running the vodka bar down in Southwest London, big up the Clapham Junction Massive, Batsy Rise, the way that we treated each other, there was loads of bars where we were, and the way that each bar treated each other in terms of their staff was the polar opposite to how it's seen in real estate land. And here's why. So all the GMs of the various bars that were up and down Clapham Junction, we had this sort of unwritten rule that if any of your any other bars teams came to your bar for a drink, you looked after them. And I mean, you looked after them. You got them absolutely slaughtered and barely made them pay for anything. It was an unwritten rule because we appreciated how much hard work went in behind the bar and the sacrifice from a social point of view, because of the fact that our main social times were, taken up by work, right? Friday night, Saturday night, Thursday night, well, pretty much any night really for us. But so because of that mutual appreciation for how hard we work when we are working, when we were off, it was the other bar's responsibility to make sure that they had as good a time as possible. That was the unwritten rule. I mean, you can ask my wife, you can ask anybody that knows. I mean, Mickey Parmenter, who's a Balmain boy, he was there as well. He will absolutely attest to this. It was just one of those things. We wanted to make sure that other people that were in our space were getting taken care of as and when there was an opportunity to. Some of my best nights were up at a different bar, Be At One, which is predominantly a cocktail bar. And the amount of times that I went out of there absolutely off my guts, happy as Larry, laughing my head off, drunk, was insane. Now, fast forward to where I am now, and I'm in the real estate space, and obviously I've been for over a decade now, and I have really, and I'm struggling, and I've asked a few people that I know in different industries. I am struggling to find another space that treats its contemporaries so badly. I really am. There is next to zero social proof that there is any other industry going around where the contemporaries, the people, the professionals that are within the space give each other so much shit. What I said about we are our own worst enemy. We create such a toxic environment at times for ourselves that it just helps nobody, including the people that are dishing out the shit. Now, I had someone message me earlier today, and I won't name names. I had someone message me earlier today because I wanted to just check in with her and see how she was going. And she told me that she'd had a bit of a health issue over the week, which was causing her a couple of issues. And then she goes, so she wasn't feeling great anyway. But then, as she was sort of, on the canvas, she actually went to go and apologize, right, to someone on social media and retract something that she said. So she went and, fess up, front up to a mistake, which is cool. Once she did that, she copped some grief from someone, some arsehole. I don't know who that arsehole was. Didn't want to know. Who made the comment of, oh, well, look who just got a lawyer's letter, or look who just got a letter from the lawyer, or something along those lines. And that really kicked her while she was down, because all she was doing was trying to front up to her mistakes, right? Which is, again, you don't see anywhere near often enough in our space. And she is not the only one that struggles with this within our profession. It took me a long time for me to find any voice in any way, shape, or form on social media whilst being in this space. I really struggled with it myself. And there are so many people that end up getting damaged mentally off the back of someone who I've no doubt that they would have no bottle whatsoever when it comes to face-to-face communication. I very much doubt that they would have the nerve to be saying anything that they say on a keyboard. They would just not be doing it in real life. Now, a couple of things on this. To those who cop hits, and to those that tend to be or have been at the, you've been the brunt of some of this attention, this negative attention within the space. A couple of things. Firstly, and I'm not saying this flippantly, right? Because this is easier to say and harder to do. One big thing that you really have to understand and appreciate is the fact that anything that gets said by anyone towards you in a negative sense, all it does is reflect their reality. It doesn't reflect your reality. It affects their reality, reflects their reality. What do I mean by that? So, for example, take this example about the guy who posted, look who got the lawyer's letter. You can all but guarantee that individual will have either copped a lawyer's letter himself for being an arsehole at one point or another, or he is the type of guy that will look for trouble. Okay? Now, that doesn't reflect on the individual who he said it to. It reflects on him as an individual. There was one guy, for some reason, at some point, I think, was it last year? Could have been the year before. It was trying to be a real smart ass about me. Like, I think it was about a year and a half ago. And he did it on a few times when I was just trying to be public and trying to, offer some sort of help to, just share my thoughts. And if it helped anyone, then great. And he was being he was trying to be a real smart ass and implying that I clearly know nothing because he's never heard of me. And I just felt sorry for the guy. I really did. Because let's face it, gang, if these people have got nothing better to do other than berate people in a negative way on social, they must live a pretty sad life. And that's rubbish for them. I feel sorry for them. So that's the first part to this, is ultimately whatever gets thrown your way has zero value until you assign a value to it. So what I mean by that is all they are until you decide whether that's positive or negative. All they are words reflecting on the person who said them. And therefore, it's up to you to decide whether you let them affect you or not. Now, Rick Rushton, one of my first mentors and one of the greatest mentors that I'll ever have the fortune of getting to know personally and becoming friends with, good friends. Thankfully, I'm really grateful for that. He said this one line, and it's been reiterated once or twice by a couple of other people. If you don't value the person, then you've no need to value the opinion, or words to that effect. If you don't value the person, you don't need to value the opinion. I think another way of saying it was, if you wouldn't ask them for their opinion, then their opinion has no value. It's like such an important thing to bear in mind, gang. So say, for example, if this random arsehole that was being an arsehole back in the day to me tried to jump on that bandwagon again, and I don't think he will, then I would give it no value at all, other than perhaps asking him if he's okay. If my wife was to turn around to me and say, Andy, you were a dickhead just then I'd be going, oh shit, maybe I was a dickhead just then. Because she's one of the 2 or 3 people that I will really pay a hell of a lot of attention to. So, and one thing I want to mention with this, right, is that, and this sort of segues me into my second scent, which is towards the people who give it out like it's going out of fashion, like the attention seekers who are just looking for some sort of drama. They revel in the drama, right? They're, you know, those revelers, right? You know them. To those guys and gals, a couple of things. Firstly, there is a distinct difference between banter and being a dick. All right. There's a group that I'm glad I'm a part of, right? I am glad I'm a part of it. And because it is banter. You go into that group knowing that you're going to give it, but you're also going to get it. And it's all very, very lighthearted. Like, it's just nothing is taken seriously on it in any way, shape, or form. And it is just an area that you can just be so, I won't say vulgar, but kind of, and no one gives a stuff. That's banter. Okay. And one thing on that, if you're going to dish it out, learn to take it. Or if you can't take it, don't dish it out. That's actually a lesson that I'm trying to teach my 6-year-old right now. So, you know, if you're one of them, you might want to, you know, take a seat in my daughter's prep class. But, gang, if you're one of these people that throws things out, one big thing that I'm hoping to get through to 1 or 2 of you is that you do not realize who's on the other end of it sometimes. You don't know what their mental state is, especially now, especially right now. You haven't got a clue what their world is like. And a flippant comment that gets flicked out at the end of a couple of thumbs because you're trying to be clever, you don't understand that that could just be water off a duck's back for some. But for others, that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Now, again, I will make another distinction. There is a difference between constructive disagreement and being a dick, right? There is a distinct difference between constructive disagreement. Now, what I mean by constructive disagreement is, like, I had Lee Ma on my show a few weeks ago, who until next month, I think, is on the board at the RAIV. And we were talking about the need for active debate within real estate. An active debate, not mass debate, plenty of that going on anyway. Active debate where people go, voice reasoned opinion with evidence, with support, and they do a real good to and fro stoush regarding a particular topic. And then from the back of that, there is a greater appreciation and understanding for both sides, for both sets of people. If you're going to be disagreeing with someone, don't just be an arsehole and say something stupid like what this idiot said. All you need to do, if you genuinely disagree with someone, firstly, take it offline. I'm not one for airing dirty laundry, right? So take it offline if you really actively disagree with them. But if you just want to sort of bring something to people's attention in a public way, which is fine, totally fine, make sure you do it with a degree of courtesy and a degree of manners. See, those are two things that on social media, they don't exist half as much as what they should do. Courtesy and manners. All right? There's a difference between banter. There's a difference between active debate, mass debate. Sorry, so childish. It's because the football season's starting and I'm just tuning into my inner child that's getting all excited and giddy. And being a dickhead. And we don't understand. What we really don't realize is that when people act like this internally within the profession, they will react externally to the customers in the same vein. It's a habit. It's habits. Your habits will percolate through to everything that you do. If you're a smart ass to the profession, chances are you're going to be a smart ass to your mates. And your mates will most likely be saying how much of an arsehole you are behind your back. Okay? The damage that you are causing to your own internal framework, your own internal network, is going to be way more significant than you realize until it's too late to realize. So please think about your behavior, because not only could it be hurting someone that is really at the end of their tether, and then how are you going to feel if they do something about it? Because it can happen, and it has happened. And then have a think about, realistically, how does it reflect on you and the way you rock and roll and the way that people will perceive you, so that when, if ever, you do need help, who do you think is going to come, if anyone? All right? So, please, whichever side of the coin you're on, if you're on the receiving end, you have a choice to give it whatever value you want to give it. And if it was me, get into the habit of feeling sorry for the person that has clearly got something going on negatively in their lives. And if you are the people that dish it out, and there are a few consistent players with this, and you probably know who you are as well, stop reveling in the drama, because ultimately it's only going to hurt one person, and that's the muppet that's at the end of the keys. Okay? We've got to stamp it out as a profession. It's damaging. It's damaging the way we think. It's damaging the way we act as a profession, believe it or not. So we've got to stop. I would love it. I would love it. And well, look, take my example. A good friend of mine who's in the industry is one of my main competitors. Paul Zamalis, auction company. We are direct competitors. But if he wanted to go for a coffee, I would make room for it. Like, he's a great lad. And we appreciate the work that each other does. Therefore, we're totally cool sharing some war stories. Have some more appreciation for how hard each other works, because you guys work so hard. Don't make it harder for each other. Silly. Anyway. And one of the most profound comments, look at him. Oh God, he's even quoted himself. If they're a ticket anyway, who cares what they think? Quote, Rob Castro, Esquire. Oh, mate, you are a Shakespeare. You are a wordsmith of the highest order, my friend. You really are. Oh, man. Mate, you're awesome. You are wicked. Okay. All right, it's very easy to pop people from behind the screen, of course. Maxine, it made me realize that we all need to be supportive of each other at the moment, and we don't need to criticize each other at all. Absolutely right. And that's sort of what I'm alluding to, gang. We don't know who's on the other end of this. We don't know what their mental state is. We don't know what their financial state is or the way that their business rolls or anything like that, right? We don't know. So be careful. Sure, there's some sort of quote about glass houses and stones. I think you can put that one together. Because you shouldn't be throwing any stones right now. No one should. None of us have got the right to be throwing any stones whatsoever. Okay? We've got to be coming together. Now, on that, my brothers and sisters, in this beloved profession of ours that we call real estate, I have a request, and I need you to share this request to all and sundry. I need you to share this request. Okay? Lisa, you have got no need to thank me. All the work that you've done is all done by you. Now, my friends, my brothers, my sisters in real estate in Victoria, whether it's regional or whether it's metro, there is a common theme that has come through, a message that is being received that, from what I can hear, that in order for us to invoke any sort of change in any way, shape, or form with our beloved dictator, then he needs to hear about actual war stories. We don't need to be spouting anything. I said this a few days ago. We don't need to be spouting anything about us poor agents. We have to get messages out there about actual stories from customers where they've been put royally in the shit as a result of these unbelievable restrictions. This is a massive request that I need as many people to action as possible in the next 48 hours. Because come Monday, that evidence is going to be potentially going towards the top. So, my friends, this is when we all need to come together in a big, big way. Now, for privacy reasons, you can blot out names. You know, you can sort of take people's actual names out of it or whatever, but make sure that you know what these, which story assigns to which client that you have, just in case you get asked for specific details so that they could corroborate the stories so that they're not bullshit, basically. But I need as many people in our profession to send through as many of your customer issues, live, real customer issues, as you possibly can. If you want to get back to work, you will do this. If you don't, and you ignore this, like what people tend to do with this sort of shit, then get comfortable, because we're going to be stayed locked up for a while. But if you want to give yourselves and their profession any chance whatsoever of getting released, then you have to share your stories with me. You have to send them through over the next 48 hours. You need to send them through. If you do that, and we go with not me personally, but we as a profession can go with a huge body of evidence, real evidence, that is going to be the only way that we can get any of these decisions overturned. And I understand why. I do understand why. Because it is the people that are being affected, and it is the people that will ultimately have any sort of traction with the powers that be. So, gang, please, I need you to send your stories through to me. We really need you to, because there are so many people that are like on the verge of being homeless, on the verge of bankruptcy, that they could avoid. And I'm not talking like and I don't think they're going to be lobbying for open for inspections or auctions or anything of that sort of nature. We're not silly. But we need to understand, we need to get people to really give us their issues, because that means that we're going to be able to control one-on-one inspections, which are so much less of an issue than half the things that are getting allowed to be done. But these are causing like life-altering problems for people. Okay? So please, whether you're in the space or around the space, I need you to send your stories through to us so that we can have them sent to the top. Real ones. Don't put BS down. I will be reading them. And I'll be able to smell BS from a mile away. So don't just fake them. I want real stories that, if asked, if requested, and obviously you get permission from the client, you get to, you can give, contact details or whatever the case may be. I don't know if it will come to that, but I really, really need you to send them through. So you can send them to me on a DM, and I will formulate them into Word docs, or you can email me. It's andy@andyreid.com.au. Not the hardest email to remember. andy@andyreid.com.au. I'll just put that up there now. Give me 2 seconds. Because guys, if you're not in the real estate space and you're listening to this, I'm telling you now, my issue, our issue, the vast majority of it, our concerns aren't for ourselves. They are for the people that we are supposed to be serving. They are. And we need to be showing that to the powers that be. There are so many people that are about to go under, whether it's financially, whether it's mentally. You've got so many people that, because of everything that's gone on, they're in very, very toxic relationships, need to separate, need to get away, but they can't. I think I'm pretty certain that it's been spouted across the news that domestic violence is rising because of this, in part. There's so many issues that comes off the back of people not being able to move around. So please, 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 please send me through what you know. Hit the wall. We need as many examples as we can possibly get our hands on, so we've got actual evidence as to the damage that these decisions are causing. At the end of the day, gang, housing is one of the most critical elements of anybody's life. Okay? We've got to do it. So this is a massive, massive shout out. Please send me whatever you have. I'll be making the same shout out tomorrow and through tomorrow in various points. But please, can you share this with anybody? Get in touch with any of your colleagues, counterparts, friends in the game, whatever. And please get as many examples as you can sent through. Please, have to. Because otherwise we can just get comfy till October 26th. Okay? But it needs to be done in the next 48 hours. Has to be done before Monday, I think. Okay? So effectively, we've got about 36 hours. Make it happen, my friends. Please make it happen. All right, gang. I'm going to go and watch myself some football. I don't know if my wife realizes that that's what's going to happen, but that's what's going to happen. But my friends, until then, I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in and giving us your attention. Any questions that you want to send through, please send me through a DM. Happy to talk about any topics that are causing you any concern in any way, shape, or form. All right, my friends, stay safe, stay healthy. Most importantly, please stay happy. Take it easy, gang.